tired of screwing up, tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Eminent Waste of Time. This is the second podcast of what we're hoping, I think we said 30 was the original goal.
We're going to shoot for that.
We're going to shoot for 30. I don't know. It's a nice round number. And I'd like to welcome you back. And I was kind of realizing, I was watching the video from the first podcast. The audio, you don't hear anything because luckily your chairs here don't creak. But I realized for the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The entire time.
You're sitting there. And I noticed too that you, like, a couple times it would bump the table and the camera go, whoa.
Yeah. So I made a mental note this time. Do not swing in the chair. Don't do your normal. I fidget. I'm always pistoning my leg up and down, or I'm a fidgety type of person. So this is killing me right now, but I'm going to sit up straight and suck it in. And if you're listening to the podcast instead of watching it, you missed that entire thing. But it is kind of funny being in front of a camera and realizing that stuff you didn't realize that you do on a regular basis.
I've become known at my normal work, like job, that I slouch in my seat a ton. Like,
you slouch when you drive.
Oh yeah. I'm laying down.
Yeah,
almost.
you have the seat all the way back and reclined, and I can't even see over the steering wheel.
But my boss and like some of the other groups that have to interact with me, like they can't see me because I slouch down so far. I'm below the monitor level. And they'll like send me a message or walk over and be like, I didn't know if you were here. I can't see you.
out of the line of fire.
Yep. I really I got the seat set way down and like the spring tension. We got really nice seats at work. And I can lean all the way back with like no tension on it. And I'm just like reclined working. Nice.
Well, I'll apologize ahead of time. I have major allergies going on right now. The ragweed is shredding me, so I'll apologize to anybody out there for my kind of Bob Dylan singing through my nose type of voice right now.
Oh, God.
You'll get over it.
Bob Dylan. My dad loves listening to him. I'm like, turn that off. I can't deal with it.
Great lyricist. Singing, maybe not so much. I guess it's an acquired taste. I don't want to offend anybody out there. But
only song I like of his is Hurricane. That's the only one he does well.
That is a solid song.
I'll give you that. That's the only song I can listen to him sing. A lot of his other songs are really good. I just can't listen to him sing his songs.
Could you not? Could you have somebody else? So, big developments since the first podcast. I have a house.
You have an accepted offer on a house.
Potentially 30 days from now, once the bank says it's okay and the seller says it's okay, then I will have a house.
Yep. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we're getting close. And the beauty of this place is it already has, I haven't measured it, but it looks like about, 30 by 50?
I would say it's real close, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, 32 by 56 or something. I don't know, but it's in that range. It's pole barn. Already has a concrete floor. Already has 100 amp electrical service out there. I mean, it is nice. It is set up. It is ready to go. I can put toys in there. We can
build things.
Do things. There's plenty of, room for projects and such.
So I'll fill you guys in of what we're kind of currently doing. I mean, we are not a large budget setup right now.
No.
Like, yeah. Ooh, what do you know? Like in the family body shop I was talking about in the last podcast, that's really where I do a lot of my work. I can do a fair amount out of my own garage, and it's just like my house garage. And my wife parks in there, so I got to pull her vehicle out to really do anything that I need to move around a whole bunch. But I'll go over to my family body shop, which is just 500 feet behind me, and I do a majority of my work there. And it works, but I want my own space. My dad and my brother, who work in the body shop full time, are slobs. Like, I can't deal with it.
It is organizationally challenged. I wondered, because your mom told me at one point, she's like, I do not go in the shop, because Chad's mom is a wonderful lady, and she is a bit of a neat freak, though. It's not a bad thing. I really appreciate people like that. But yeah, she will not go in the shop because it makes her eye twitch.
She vacuums the house every day because she likes the lines in the carpet. She Windexes all the glass tables every day, And like every time she opens a bottle of bleach for laundry or cleaning or whatever, she like sniffs it. She's like, I love bleach. Like she has issues, like for real issues. So neat freak, a little bit of a neat freak is like a severe understatement. And it's my own mother, and I will say that right there, and I would tell her also.
But this is why your dad has the shop. I mean, above and beyond, it's how he earns a living, but it's his space to be messy and disorganized.
Yes, and you guys have probably been in people's shops where it's like that, but I can't deal with it. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not saying I'm a neat freak like my mom at all. I'm just not. I mean, Doug's been around my house. I mean, my house is reasonably well picked up. My den that I have a bunch of junk laying around, and every day I go in there, I'm like, I need to pick this up. But I just got so many other things going on. But like, oh man, I walked in there today because I was doing some work on the side-by-side improvements, not fixing because I didn't break anything.
Because we didn't race.
Yes. So I was just doing improvements. And I go in there, and they use DeWalt tools mainly is what they use. So all cordless anyway tools. And, they got cordless impacts and all that other fun stuff. They probably, because they have all the tools, they probably have an easy 10 or 12 batteries. Every battery dead, not one of them on a charger.
Perfect.
And I was flipping out. I was like, how can you not have one? There's 4 dead batteries sitting next to the charger. None of them on the charger.
It takes a lot of effort to pop those bad boys out and set them in the charger. Come on.
I mean, nuts.
Yeah, there's nothing like going to work on something and finding a dead battery tool or something along those lines. Or you can find the 7/8 socket and you can find the 5/8. You can't find the 3/4 because it's missing and hasn't been put back in the same drawer. I mean, that yeah.
Or my brother has walked them all over to his barn, and that's where they all are, which is about a quarter of a mile away. Fine, bring them back, please, and his barns are all dirt floor because they're old barns and whatever. I mean, they're nice. They're still, the structures are nice. They just never had concrete poured in them. And he's got like tools spread in the dirt everywhere, just scattered, and it drives me batty. I don't know how he does it.
Everybody works a little differently. But I know you were over there today, and why don't you tell the viewing and listening audience at home what we've been up to?
So,
by we, I mean you, because I was doing something totally unrelated.
Yeah, he was messing with his own stuff. Side note on that, Doug was like, oh, it's nice, I'm going to be down there, I'm going to be able to help you. No. Not this time, anyway.
No.
So,
the best intentions.
Yeah. So, because of the type of racing that we do, which is cross country, we have tended to be in tighter woods, and some even tighter than we can deal with or we like. But
60-inch side-by-side, 59-inch gap.
Yeah, we've run into that, literally. But because we're in tight woods, there's a lot of sawing at the wheel. I mean, Doug's looked over at me before when we were racing, and it's just nothing but back and forth as fast as I can spin that thing. And I'm not saying I was like wore out by it, but man, it's just, you lose time because the time it takes me to get the wheel around a turn and a half, then I have to come all the way back. And you think, well, yeah, that's a ton of time. It adds up.
Times 1 million, or okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that, literally hundreds, if not thousands of times per race. Yeah.
So I've been looking at them for, several months, and I finally pulled the trigger on one. I got it's called a steering quickener, and essentially what it does is it takes your input and it doubles it. So before where I had to turn the wheel a turn and a half to get to lock on one side, and then it was about one and a half. So it makes it like 3 turns to get all the way to the lock on the other side, to go lock to lock on it. Well, now it's only like 1.5 lock to lock. It's doubled my input to the wheels.
So here's the net effect of this, folks. If you've ever driven a side-by-side, and chances are if you're listening to this, you have, what he's done is made this thing totally undrivable.
for other people. It's a security thing.
Oh, no, it's terrifying. So now what we've got is he's got the clutch tightened up for racing, so there's really no kind of gentle creep. You kind of have to get on the gas, and it jumps forward when you do that.
It is all or nothing on that clutch. But I set it up that way on purpose because
For racing, it makes
when
sense.
we're racing, we're on or we're off the throttle. I mean,
Yeah.
very, very seldom are we cruising.
So it's an all or nothing clutch, and it's now all or nothing steering.
It
So we're out there.
is.
I'm goofing around. We're coming back over to his house. So I jump in. I said, I'm driving. I want to check this steering quickener out. It's 9 o'clock at night, 9:15. The sun has set. There's dew all over the grass out there. I jump in this thing, and the back end just wants to come around no matter what I do, because the smallest movement of the wheel translates into a lot of actual wheel movement of the front wheels.
Yes.
And it just wants to come around. And all I can think of is this thing at 70 miles an hour flat out would be terrifying.
Death
completely Yeah, it's completely undrivable. The thing is garbage. No, it's going to be great for woods racing. But I'm telling you what, if you were unexperienced and jumped in this thing, you would be in some serious trouble in a hurry.
Yeah. So I had to explain to my kids. I have 2 children, 15 and 11. Yeah. It's still their ages. And I had to remember. So I was talking to my daughter when I was taking her to her soccer game this morning. Said, now listen, I'm doing something to the side-by-side, and it could be potentially bad for you. I don't want you to get in it, because my kids sometimes use it to go to their cousin's house or my parents' house or whatever, because it's basically like the big shoemaker compound around here. We all live relatively close. So I told her, I was like, you're going to have to like be really careful going fast and like attempting to turn. Said it will turn really fast on you. And they haven't got to drive it yet, but we'll see.
What I'm hearing here is what you really need is a family buggy.
I need another.
You do, because this thing really is not safe for anybody but you and maybe me to a lesser extent. But that,
I've made it worse.
pretty much.
No, I think it's going to really be good for racing. For any other application, I would not really suggest it to anyone.
But it's just a pure race machine now.
That's
basically what you've done to it.
That
it's
is
just
all
a pure
I
race
use it
machine.
for. Yeah.
So what you need is a Yamaha Wolverine X4. That's what you need.
That, my friend, is a great segue. Look at how he just slid that in there.
Smooth like butter on a bald monkey. So if you haven't heard, Yamaha has now released the Wolverine X4, which is basically they took the piece of paper on the previous Wolverine, threw it away, and started over. I mean, there's a few similarities. You'll recognize the design.
The name.
Other than that, it's an incredible machine. They've ditched the smaller 700cc, 700-ish cc single thumper that was a great motor, ran out of breath at the high end, and
it was a proven motor. It had been around for a long time.
But it was a little breathless at the high end, and let's face it, at idle, it would just jar your fillings loose. It was a 700cc single thumper, so it didn't idle smooth. It's just how they are.
And Doug has a little bit of experience in it, and I have a little more experience, because my dad does own a Wolverine. He's got a 2016 special edition or limited edition, whatever.
All the goodies in it. It's nice.
It really is
very
nice. I will say Yamaha on the Wolverine has their suspension sorted out. It is nice. The clutching is smooth. Nothing like my race one.
It actually feels like it has more travel than it does. I was surprised how little travel it. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's in the neighborhood of 8 inches. They've actually expanded it on the X4, but it's in that kind of 7.5 to 8 inch range, but it feels like more because it soaks everything up so well.
They really do have the shocks figured out and dialed in, and it's for what it is, for not being like a long travel. It's not a Razor XP. It's not meant to be a Razor XP. It is a excellent trail machine.
Yeah,
that the 2-seater Wolverine is what we're talking about here, because obviously I have not been in the X4.
So the X4, if you haven't looked up the specs, go on YouTube. You can find all sorts of videos about them. Of course, Yamaha is going to have that kind of stuff on their page. But they've ditched the single cylinder. They now have a twin cylinder motor in there. It's an 850cc. It's churning out 69 horsepower, which is a huge jump in horsepower from the 700, which was down in the high 40s.
Yeah,
48, something like that.
Yeah, it might have touched 50. I couldn't tell you. I mean, it gets up and goes, and it's not blistering fast. It doesn't throw you back, and you think, oh my gosh, the power.
Yeah, but
it got up and moved.
Big jump on the X4 though. I mean, that is a big jump there. Still, really, it's 4-seater as the 4 part of X4 might give you a heads up, but still very compact dimensions. 82-inch wheelbase. It's about 122 inches long overall. It's only 59 inches wide. So if you're looking for a compact 4-seater, this definitely fits the bill. And I'm loving the seat arrangement in that, because if you want more bed space, you can literally slide the back seats forward out of the way and have extra bed space when you don't need to haul extra people around, and you don't have to take the seats out and just ditch them somewhere.
Yeah. Now, I will add in that they are not, I don't know if you've really looked around, but they're not the first to do that.
No. But I like the fact that they added that. And I think in some ways, I like just little things, the way the seatbelts fold down, and there's a cover over the center post where you plug the seatbelt into. I mean, they've kind of taken that idea and really made it nice.
Yeah. The Kawasaki Mules, now they're like pure utility. They are no sport. They did that first, I believe, and then the Honda...
The Pioneer?
Pioneer.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Rancher, and I knew that was not it.
The Ranchero.
No, they do that also, where they have, like, it gives you an extended bed or seating. I mean, and that works. The Terex is the other 4-seater that's kind of like in the same class as the Wolverine X4. But the Wolverine X4 comes in slightly shorter than the Terex does, so that's good. I've been in the Terex. They got good leg room in the back. It doesn't look like the Yamaha has quite as good a leg room, but...
No, but what they did do that I really liked is your back seats are 4 inches higher than the front, so it's kind of a limited stadium seating type of setup.
Yeah, you can see over.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. I think it'll sell well. I really do.
I'm not gonna lie. I want one. I like your dad's machine. I've driven it before, and if this new one is just a better all-around version, 8.7 inches of suspension travel in the front, 8.9 in the back. So they've beefed up the suspension travel a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to have one.
Now the motor, I don't think you're gonna feel a major difference, even though it is more horsepower. You're gaining more weight with the machine because you've gone to the 4.
It's 16. The wet weight's like 1650, something like that. So it's a fairly heavy machine.
It's porky.
But it's because of all the I don't know. It's just heavy.
It is. You can try and dress it up however you like, but it is heavy. I think it'll sell well. Yamaha is known for reliability and good quality builds. I think it will be that. I know some guys with a Terex even who have taken out back seats or do, because I generally have ridden with those guys in West Virginia when I've gone out there, and they'll take the back seats out and they've built like this shelf bracket system so that they can put stuff back there and like lose the extra seating because they generally don't need it. And this kind of has that built in. So it's nice. I don't think it's the machine for me. I'll put it that way. But, I mean, that does not mean anything to millions of other people.
You can borrow mine whenever you want.
Sweet. Buy it now. I'll even go help you pick it up. I really do think for someone who's looking for a 4-seater to ride the trails, and you're not looking for the fastest thing out there, you're not looking for the widest and biggest thing, you're not going out to blast dunes like on a
And my son is not a man giant like yours is. My son is 5'7" currently. He'll probably hit 5'9", 5'10". He'll be about my height when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But he's your son would not fit in the back. So different considerations all around, and I get that.
That's the only reason I didn't chop the cage on our race buggy more is because he uses it sometimes to drive around the property. And I'm like, if I chop it more than this, he's not going to fit. And I literally did. I started my chop, called him and said, come sit in the side-by-side. And he sat in it. I'm like, how much room is above your head? He's like, I measured him. He's like 3 inches. Okay, good. I can't chop it anymore.
Yeah.
Because, you think, oh, well, you could go another couple inches. No, you don't want your head whopping around. And
no, because I don't care. We've got 5-point racing harnesses in there, but you don't want to come. I mean, you still move in the seat. You hit a big bump, you come up. You don't want to be a half inch under the cage.
For anyone who's ever ridden really rough trails and been strapped in, if you cinch those harnesses down all the way, it rattles your brain and it hurts. Like after a half an hour, your head hurts, and it's just not smart. I have a rule of thumb. I take 3 fingers, like my index finger, my middle finger, and my ring finger, and I place those between my chest and the buckle, and that's how much slack I want.
I tighten mine up to where I feel like I'm almost going to die, but not quite.
Okay.
So if my heart's racing, but I'm not throwing up, then that's kind of
that's
more
how
of
I
a
drive
feel.
all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your family buggy then? Obviously, at some point you're going to have to get one.
Do I have to?
Well, you kind of We've already established that we have ruined the CF Moto.
Yeah, it's not good for family things anymore. Honestly, I think if I had, I'm not looking to get a family buggy. I hate to say I have a family. Okay, I'll put it this way, and I'll tell you guys why. I have a family. I already established I have 2 kids. I'm married. I have a wife. My wife hates riding with me.
That's true.
She like won't. She will going.
She was
over
questioning
to my
me
parents.
about this whole he's really gonna ride shotgun with you during a race.
I'm not a bad driver. My wife is just not the type to go off-roading. She doesn't enjoy it.
She doesn't like speed.
No. Like she thinks I am thoroughly nuts, like legitimate nuts. So kind of, I'm not saying toss her out of the mix of it, but she wouldn't go riding anyway.
Okay, so she's not going. Nix that. Plus, she doesn't really like camping, and most of these types of trip involve some sort of camping.
Right. So you can count her out of that part. My son is involved in a lot of sports, and he's 15. So he's really only got another few years in the house. And he plays football, and he plays soccer, and he's played basketball, and he's in orchestra, and. I mean, it just keeps going. He's so busy, and he doesn't particularly enjoy. I mean, he'll go with me to like ride around the property. He doesn't really care to go anywhere and ride. My daughter, who is 11, she wouldn't mind it, but not super interested either. So for me, it's like, why do I want to go get a school bus of side-by-sides when I'm the only one in it? And most of the time, I'm the only one in it.
Yeah, see, all 3 of my lovely wife, my lovely daughter, and my son would all love to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they like to ride. And maybe it's because it's more fresh and new to them, but my daughter's talking about racing quads, and they're kind of getting into the whole power sports thing, and they would love to. And honestly, I guess if I buy one, if you ever, like I said, you're always welcome to borrow it, and I can always grab the CF Moto if I want to go kill myself. So we've got all the bases covered.
Well, see, I'm kind of on the fence, and I'm really debating this. I'm thinking about picking up another project machine.
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about this.
We've talked about this. I'm not going to let the cat too far out of the bag. But
it doesn't have a CVT.
I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying I am. But I'm going to go full sport with one. Something that's fun and faster. The CF Moto is great.
Suzuki Samurai.
No.
Okay.
No. I just want something else, and I will probably, what I'll do with that one is just go whole hog and like build it ground up, basically. I'm going to start with a buggy and tear it all apart.
So basically you're going to go to the auction and buy a wrecked one that the drivetrain survived, but the frame and nothing else important did.
That is kind of my thought. Yeah.
Okay, full tube chassis. And
yes, I want to do full tube chassis. I want to make it light. I want to make it fast.
No doors.
No doors, like you're sliding in and out the cage. I'm ruining another one.
Okay.
I'm ruining another one.
Perfect.
But I don't.
6-to-1 steering quickener on it.
Yeah, no. I don't think I'm going to race this one, though. I mean, I might
just
eventually.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, to take on trips and to have fun. Now, maybe down the road, that might change. But the initial plan won't be to race it. If I'm going to step up to the 1,000 class, which we'd have to if we go anything bigger than 800cc, and my next one I'm definitely going bigger than 800cc, I want something with a turbo. I want everything that I can get out of it. So my thought is I'm gonna build like I'll let I guess enough of the cat out of the bag. I want to build a full tube chassis. I want good steering components. I want a nice everything. Bead locks. I mean, I'm just gonna do it up. May not be straight out of the gate like that, but probably the tube chassis will be.
Design goal for suspension travel.
What is my design goal for
Yeah.
it? Oh gosh. Thicker, heavy A-arms.
36 inches.
No, I do not want 36s. 30s. I think I'd like to stay at 30s. I'm not a big. I've referenced it before. I'm not a big mud and dirt person, so I don't feel the need to go like 30.
Oh no! I was talking travel. 36 inches
36
of travel.
inches of travel. No, no. The problem is if you start deviating too much from that, you start getting really wide to have to get it.
Well, and they just wallow. You can't get. I mean, you can do progressive rate springs, and you can do some stuff. But the reality is, if you have that much travel, you have to run soft enough springs that they just, now you're basically a rock buggy, and that's not what you want to build.
No, I don't want a full size rock buggy. I would like to have a tube chassis side by side.
Yeah.
But I'll probably stay within a few inches of the stock width on a 1000, which
Sure.
So around 64 inches, 65 inches. I don't really want anything massively wide because we're not like East Coast, but we're here in Indiana, and my trails that I have on my property are pretty tight. Trails that, like I go run out in West Virginia, those widen up a bit, but I don't get out there real often. I just don't want. I don't want to have to crawl through trails. That drives me up the wall.
No, I hear you.
So.
Well, it's going to be a fun project, though. And my new pole barn is going to give us a place to start on stuff like that until you get your steel building put up. And
yeah, so that's kind of what Doug's let more cats out of said bags.
All of our plans are basically like those puzzles where you can only move one piece at a time to clear the room for the next piece.
Yeah.
So, well, we told people you were putting a building up because you wanted a workshop of your own that wasn't your dad's and your brother's.
Yeah.
And you weren't in the way of their business. You need a place where you can leave a chassis sitting in the middle of the shop for weeks on end while you're working on it. You don't have to go hide it all the time.
Right. So yeah, I think the tentative plan for now is we're gonna start doing some stuff in your barn when you get it, and then I can get my building put up, and then I'll kind of migrate over and start there, so I'm not like out in your front yard at 2 a.m. and
it doesn't bother me one bit. Jenny loves the idea because she's like, you guys can be working on stuff and you'll still be home. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess sort of.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's more things coming down the pipe that we're really, I'm excited. I think we're in a good place. I have people contact me. You probably don't have near as many people contact you, like from CF Moto forums.
No, they know me as the 170-pound, bag of meat.
Yeah. I have people contact me probably daily asking questions. So I think people understand that I know what I'm doing with it. So I think I'm going to start putting some of that knowledge to use.
Absolutely.
So,
well, folks, you get to find out what these plans are in the future. We're definitely going to be back for episode 3 because we have to make it to 30. We've set a goal. Even if nobody's listening by then, we will just keep going.
Yeah.
So, thanks for riding along for this episode. Once again, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play and on Stitcher if you're looking for the podcast. If you want to watch the live video version, you can find it on our channel at YouTube, which is...
I think it's just Eminent Performance. Yeah, I think.
Okay, check it. Yeah, look for Eminent Performance on you. Actually, if you pull up Eminent Waste of Time.
Oh, I'm sure we're the only one who put that on there. Which, by the way, I love the name Doug came up with that. Full credit to him. That was not me. He told me what it was, and I was like, yes, that is the name.
His exact words were, "It's too late. If you want to change it, I will fight you." So you can find us there. You can find us on the web at eminentperformance.com, on Facebook /Eminent Racing, and on Instagram, once again, at Eminent Racing, because somebody else has taken our name already, and I don't know what they do, but they do something eminent and something performance related. So
they say they do. I don't think they do it as well.
Probably not. We'll let you be the judges. All right, thanks for riding along in this episode. We will be back shortly whenever we have enough content to crank out episode 3. We're going to do this at least monthly, but if time allows, you might get a bi-weekly. You might even get a weekly if we have a ton of stuff going on, but we promise we'll at least get you once a month, or we will threaten you with having one once a month, however you want to look at that.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
All right, everybody, thanks for riding along. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Delicious.